From bomb shelters rising across Turkey to warships diverted at sea and generals trading fire with words, the Mediterranean is bracing for its most dangerous summer in decades. We take you inside a region on edge where one miscalculation could ignite a wider war. Turkey has embarked on an unprecedented national security project, the construction of bomb shelters across all 81 provinces. A source familiar with the plans told Middle East Eye that President Recep Tayyip Erdogan approved the initiative during a cabinet meeting in June, at a time when Israel and Iran were exchanging direct strikes. The Turkish Housing Development Administration, known as TOKI, has been tasked with spearheading the construction. Officials say the shelters are designed to give civilians safe refuge not only in the event of war, but also during natural disasters and even nuclear threats. The decision came after a report by the Turkish National Intelligence Academy analysing Israel's 12-day war with Iran. The report urged Ankara to build well-equipped shelters, introduce early warning systems, and take measures to minimise civilian casualties in case of a regional conflict. It also recommended that underground metro stations in major cities be adapted for use as shelters during bombardments. Turkey is racing to fortify its cities against a future it fears may arrive sooner than expected. Across the country, bulldozers and cranes are breaking ground on a vast network of bomb shelters, the first nationwide project of its kind. Officials say the aim is simple: to provide civilians refuge from war, natural disasters, even nuclear threats. For years, Turkey's shelter infrastructure has been more fiction than fact. Regulations dating back to 1987 left many designated spaces neglected or repurposed as car parks. Now, inspired by Israel's civil defense system and drawing on models from Japan and Switzerland, Ankara is determined to build real protection. The urgency is clear. Israel's lightning assault on Iran earlier this year, met with a hail of ballistic missiles, sent shockwaves across the region. With ties to Israel shattered since the Gaza war, Turkey fears its own vulnerability has never been greater. Anger deepened after Benjamin Netanyahu formally recognized the Armenian genocide, a move seen in Turkey as a direct provocation. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan has urged Muslim nations to unite against Israel's genocidal Gaza takeover plan, while regional tensions continue to spill into Syria and beyond. Last month, the Turkish National Intelligence Academy urged sweeping reforms to meet the demands of modern warfare. Its report called for stronger early warning systems, tighter counter-espionage measures, and a revamped security architecture reflecting Turkey's growing regional role. While Turkey has emerged as a drone power since 2016 with the Ankara and Bayraktar TB2, it remains reliant on aging F-16. Plans for the Kaan fighter jet will not bear fruit before 2030. By contrast, Israel recently deployed more than 300 aircraft in a complex strike on Iran. The warning is stark: Turkey must act or risk vulnerability. At the same time, Ankara has also escalated its sanctions regime against Israel, extending punitive measures from the economic sphere into maritime activity. Israeli shipping giant Zim confirmed that Turkish authorities had barred Israeli-linked vessels from entering the country's ports. The Haifa-based line, the world's 9th largest container carrier, said the restrictions apply to all ships owned, managed or operated by entities tied to Israel. The ban also covers cargoes bound for or originating from Israeli ports. The impact was immediate. One Zim vessel was refused entry into Istanbul and forced to divert to Piraeus, Greece, leaving Turkey-bound cargo stranded. Turkish-flagged vessels are also now barred from calling at Israeli ports, while any ship carrying military cargo destined for Israel will be turned away from Turkish harbours. The new measures build on sanctions imposed in May 2024, when Ankara suspended $7 billion in bilateral trade and halted dozens of product categories in protest at Israel's war in Gaza. With the shipping industry caught off guard, Carriers across the eastern Mediterranean are seeking urgent clarification on whether their operations may be affected. For Ankara, the move is a deliberate escalation. By targeting maritime logistics, Turkey is wielding its geographic leverage, controlling the Bosphorus and key Mediterranean routes, to underline its growing hostility towards Tel Aviv. While tensions with Israel dominate headlines, Turkey's old rivalry with Greece is never far away. On August 26th, the rector of the Turkish National Defence University, Erhan Afyoncu, publicly dismissed the possibility of Athens winning a war against Ankara. A historian by training, Afyoncu has led the National Defence University since its founding in 2016, following the failed coup attempt. He is tasked with shaping a new generation of officers and emphasised Turkey's military advantage over its neighbour.
I enroll 4 times more students than the Hellenic Naval Academy, and my quotas are full. My military academy quotas are more than 8 times theirs, and they are full. My Air Force Academy quotas are also full.
Afyoncu pointed to Turkey's population, nearly 8 times that of Greece, as a decisive factor. Both countries currently operate 16 frigates, but he argued that Athens lacks the manpower to sustain its growing arsenal.
They cannot find soldiers. They cannot find young people willing to become soldiers.
Afyoncu specifically criticised Greece's recent purchase of French naval ships, suggesting it lacked the officers to operate them effectively. While warning Greece against excessive militarization, Afyoncu nevertheless insisted that dialogue, not conflict, should define bilateral relations.
You have no chance of winning that war, and we do not want war. Let us sit down and talk about our problems. Let us discuss our issues in the Aegean and work together in the region.
In April, Greece's Chief of the General Staff of National Defence, Dimitrios Houpis, made a pointed statement.
We are determined, without any conditions, to respond within 5 minutes wherever and whenever necessary.
Such exchanges underscore the fragility of the détente. While Ankara's attention is increasingly fixed on its southern and eastern frontiers, the spectre of a renewed Aegean crisis remains a persistent risk.